Hi guys, Luton here, and we are back looking at the new jungle CTE map with the changes that have been put into place. So today we are looking at the new temple complex, which is in here. You can see you can swim in through various little tunnels, and then you can climb ladders to get up into the main temple complex. Not sure if I'm a fan of the ladders at this point. I have suggested a solution to this if it needs indeed to be solved. But basically the trouble with the ladders is it just creates like a camp point. Like everyone just wants to kill you on those ladders. I managed to get into the base clean here right now because my team are already occupying it. But when the enemy team are in here, also I wanted to just get myself killed here because I was interested where I was getting sniped from, and you can see that the guys are sitting up on here. This is obviously not a positive change, but I think that there is actually another change coming already to the temple, and I've got a little image of that to show you at the end of this video. So I think that may eliminate that issue, because I was quite concerned at the start of the gameplay tonight about how that was going to play out. I think they've already seen that, and actually it makes a very good and interesting change. So driving around the map, there have been some other changes as well. It seems that my other last suggestion that I also made, and I'm sure a lot of other people besides myself have made, which is probably why that change came in, is that the rivers and so on now don't take you off of those vehicles. I said on one of my last videos that I wanted to see the river level taken down a notch so that it doesn't instantly take you out of your vehicle when you're driving around, because it interrupts the flow of the game. They have done that. So now when you're driving around the map, it does keep you in your vehicle. It doesn't just throw you out, and it helps with that flow of the game. It helps everything kind of stay together much faster, much better. It doesn't just kind of have some bizarre mechanic which throws you out there. Really good that they made that change. The helicopter right here, I was saying that, you know, I really feel like this helicopter here needs to be like the helicopter in Call of Duty 4. Remember the crash map on Call of Duty 4? Basically, the helicopter had split in half in an element, or at least it enabled you to get inside. I actually want to see the helicopter here with the tail section kind of torn off and split in half, but maybe with like one half still existing so that you can man the actual minigun. I think that there should be a minigun emplacement on the left hand side of that helicopter, enabling you to kind of cover this area here over by the forests, so that if you're defending it from attackers, you can get on that minigun and use it to good effect. I think that would actually be a really good thing to have in there, and I think it would help to, you know, actually provide some kind of defense position there if maybe you're just two guys and you're getting attacked from all around. Obviously if the tanks come in, it's going to be no good, but I think that would be a cool feature element to have on board there, and it'd be something a little bit different that we don't normally see on maps. Sometimes you'd have like static AT launchers and things, but not very often like a static minigun like that. It'd be cool to have that as part of the feature for that map. That's what you call pinned to the wall. Bad luck, my friend. D, they haven't made a lot of changes to D right now. There is obviously sort of a little, I don't know if there even is a bit more machinery, but I don't know. I was saying that I actually don't think D needs too much of a change, because overall D feels like a kind of fast, fluid one. You kind of come in, grab, move it, get out of there. It's one of the bases on this map which feels a little bit more open overall, so that's a good thing. Sniping can still occur on this map. You know, even though they've taken this hillside down, the verticality is not disappearing. You know, you can still find hills to snipe from and stuff, but I think that temple complex there, you know, there's a danger of, you know, sort of getting 4 or 5 people up there all trying to snipe off of that point. But again, as I say, I think the way that they're changing that map is going to make that a lot more difficult, and so we hopefully won't see so much of that. But it's been really positive to see these changes yet again. You know, like I said on the last time with this other video, I said that I was really impressed with some of the changes that had been made, and it was making this map look a lot more sort of palatable. And you know, now it's gone further. It's still looking even better. So I've been really impressed with the map design and the way that they have listened and looked at the elements that need to happen, and it really does feel like it's moving in a very, very good direction indeed. Whether or not we actually see that replicate into actually quality games is another matter. That depends entirely on the community. And I've got to say one thing, which is that I still feel frustrated that this map and the night maps are taking seeming precedent over the team play initiative, which was supposed to come out a while back, or it was supposed to at least be having more progress a while back. I feel like the team play initiative is something which would have given us higher quality games overall, not just one new map and some guns, which is the thing that we've had a lot. Now, again, not being unappreciative, but I just personally feel like those things are more important, and I would like to see those pushed further. Because as the trouble is that I suppose from one point of view, even when Battlefront comes out, plenty of people are going to still want to play Battlefield 4, I guess, because it's got that military aspect. Battlefront is not going to play like Battlefield whatsoever. So I suppose from that point of view, it's going to be your Battlefield game that you want to play through until the next year. Certainly, people won't be playing Hardline because, you know, I don't need to be a genius to tell you that. So I suppose from that point of view, it is good to have a new map and so on and so on. And I would like to see this same process happen a couple more times when it comes to... how did I not see that guy until that moment? I don't know what I was looking at. I think it was because I was live streaming. I was like looking at the chat or talking to people or something. Anyway, so yeah, I think it would be good to have this process again with a slightly different sort of theme or something, and just see how, you know, decent of a quality that can happen. You know, maybe going into the next Battlefield as well, although I've got some big ideas about what I want to sort of talk about there. This process could happen, I would imagine, and I would hope, perhaps before release. Obviously not as in detail as this, but at least kind of a little bit more open and a little bit more like, hey, this is, you know, what we're thinking of, rather than having a completely closed section. Maybe they should have something as much as like 50% of their maps closed and the other half open, so that the community can really get involved and work towards having like the best stuff right from the outset. But as I say, I've got some pretty, you know, sort of strong ideas about the direction that I think that needs to go, and so I'll be looking at that really, really soon. I actually wanted to get something about that out already, but as I say, my schedule this week is a bit all over the place, so it's been tricky to do this. But the changes that happened here so far, as I say, have been all good and measured as well. I like the fact that there haven't been really extreme changes. They've been kind of considered, and they've just sort of listened to what the community has been saying. So there haven't been sweeping changes, apart from, I suppose, that gigantic hillside being cut in half. But overall, as I say, it's been measured, and that's a good thing, because it shows that they sort of understand and look, well, of course they understand, but, you know, it shows that they're sort of getting a feel for what the community is enjoying and disliking. So, you know, showing that they're reading what people are thinking and commenting on. And that's a really, really good thing. You know, that should really belay some people's fears about listening. On the other hand, some record of listening with certain things is not so good as always. And I think that, you know, basically what I'm saying there is that this has been a really good process, and this has been a much better process than I have seen with other things that I have been involved with. So I think, and I would say, please continue with this spirit in which this has happened, because I think it's moving strongly in the right direction. I think it's going to provide a product which is of a higher quality than, you know, perhaps would have been without, because that community involvement, it just shows what you can achieve when you do have really strong community involvement. And it's a shame, I think, that some of the advice which was directed towards other Battlefield elements, not for, well, some of 4 and some of Hardline, were not listened to and not heeded or not taken seriously or just overwritten. And I think that, unfortunately, meant that some elements there in terms of the quality of that product was just not there. You know, I think if they had listened to what had been said, they might have ended up with a slightly better product. But when it comes to Battlefield 4 and this map, it's going really nicely. As I say, with this temple complex though, one thing that I'm finding is the sort of in and out routes are not particularly working for me. You have like those little bridges which you have to get in on the front side, you have the tunnels where you can get in from the middle, but other than that, that's kind of it. I actually did a couple of concept designs this evening after the stream, and they're posted on my Twitter. I'll post the links to all of those below so you guys can check out what it was that I was looking at there. I was looking at adding extra step routes onto that temple complex. I was also looking at changing the way the steps move in the center of the complex. We were looking at the downed helicopter, and we're also looking at the gorge which runs through the middle to the ghost town here, and I was looking at how I want that to be really overgrown and jungly. They were literally incredibly quick sort of, you know, designs. It was 5-10 minutes each, because I literally had no time this evening. It was just a case of sketch, get it out, just a rough bare bones concept. If I had more time, I would thrash that out into a little bit of a better drawing. But it gives you the idea of what it was I was talking about nonetheless. The other big positive, which I should have mentioned earlier, but it's, I guess, good to have something to talk about at the end of this video, was the B flag. The fact that they have actually moved the B flag onto the waterfall space along with that new temple. That was another really big thing that I should have actually mentioned at the start of the video, but as I say, perhaps it's good to round off on that thought. The fact, and here we are, like you see the river going down, like straight through, no problem at all with the bike, and this is positive. This is what you want to see, because look at how well it's flowing now. You're now moving from point to point. Yeah, so moving that B flag onto the temple and the waterfall, really good, because like I kept saying, it felt so subsidiary and so detached from that wonderful and fantastic waterfall which is coming down there. So now that they've actually brought it back on board, that's been a really good thing. And just to finish up here as well, look at the tree height. There's a nice variation now in the tree height. Before it was very kind of much of the same, but now we've got like large trees, small, different kinds, and it's really starting to feel full and a much more kind of varied, rich source for the map. It's great when you're flying around in it, but it looks great when you're kind of just looking up through it, or when you're moving around on the map. It just gives you that more encompassing feel. It feels just much more of a whole product. And yeah, it's definitely going in the right direction. I just played a couple of games this evening, and I found that overall it flowed well, it played well, the fights around the bases were good, and as I say, it's all definitely moving in the right direction. Hopefully with a few more tweaks, we're going to end up with a product pretty soon which is looking really nice, and something that's going to be a lot, it's going to be very enjoyable for people to play. The last thing that we would mention as well is that there has been, they've posted a video, or they're going to post a video, which has got some highlights of changes that are going to be coming in. By the time this goes up, it might have already been implemented onto the CTE, but I don't know exactly when that's happening. What you'll see is that they have brought the mountainside over the temple. So now the temple is essentially in a cave system, with the waterfall then flowing over the frontage of that. This is very interesting. It looks like it's going to be exciting. I can't wait to actually get on and look at this. But as I say, the routes in and out is still a factor for me, but the way that this is designed may help with the verticality. Thanks for watching, guys. Drop your comments below, and I'll see you next time.